Hi, this is Ekene on and I really want to thank you for watching today. Today is a series that I'm going to be calling Refresh TV. Refresh is a series that I created for women. I know, look, this is my kitchen. It's very real. Maybe I should have jazzed it up first. That's the cup I was just drinking out of. But anyway, Refresh is a series that I created for women. We're doing a number of workshops. We've just done one in Atlanta. We've done one in DC. We have Houston and probably Chicago coming up this year. But we also have some other things coming up through the pipeline. We have other sorts of media that will help you refresh your life. And the whole idea of refresh is really to refresh your life to become the best you possible. And I started doing it because a lot of the women that I was meeting, women like myself, really needed a refreshing. And what I mean by that is, I call it for today's superwoman. They were superwomen, doing everything for everyone. And oftentimes we were the last people on our list. And we weren't taking care of ourselves. We aren't taking care of ourselves physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of those things that really matter. We've lost our sensuality, So Refresh is all about getting your best self back, taking care of yourself healthfully from a health and fitness perspective. It's about looking your best, trying a new look, a new color, finding your je ne sais quoi type of thing. And we actually talk about bringing sexy all the way back. So what we're going to be doing in Refresh TV is exploring the different things that are different ways we can be better, eat better, work out better. I've been on a personal journey. I am on a personal journey. Probably by the end of this series, it'll become even more evident where I'm going. Today, as part of Refresh TV, I wanted to share with you something that I love to eat in the summer. I love salads. And of course, salads are part of my healthy eating plan. My eating plan is reducing the amount of refined carbohydrates that I take in, which means, to make it simple, the white stuff, the bread, which I love. Okay, can I just say that there's an African bread? If you've ever had this thing they call African bread, go to one of the African tropical Caribbean markets and say, do you guys have any African bread? Well, don't do it, because then you might get hooked and then you'll blame me. But anyway, there's this African bread. Oh, a little butter. It's just a little sweet. Anyway, so that's been cut out of the diet because it's not helpful. I don't even know what they used to make it. Probably lard or something like that. It's probably terribly unhealthy for me, but it's completely white. White flour, all of that. No real nutritional value. So cut that out. And this is going to even be more shocking, what I'm going to say next. Don't eat white rice as such. And really, I've come a long way. I still have a long way to go, but when I started my journey, and I don't have a picture with me, but I will show you later on how I've been getting refreshed. Um, so I've come some way, and I know what I'm saying works. At least it's working for me. So yeah, I cut out white rice, which is hard in the Nigerian diet because we eat rice and stew. We eat fried rice. We own have our own version of fried rice. It's not like the Chinese fried rice, but we eat that too. We eat rice and curry, jollof rice, yassa, chicken yassa. Even the whole yassa is from Senegal or Senegambia. I love it. But it's been hard, so I don't eat white rice. A lot of people substitute white rice with brown rice. I'm not a big fan of brown rice. I just don't eat it as much. I do occasionally, but rice in general, I don't eat rice as much. I've been experimenting with other whole grains like quinoa, and recently I tried millet. Millet is actually indigenous to Nigeria, and I'm really not sure why we don't eat it, because I tried it, and I'd never tried it. It's funny, I lived in Nigeria for decades, never had millet. I think it's the same thing, and I could be wrong, so don't quote me. But the Hausas, which is a northern ethnic group in Nigeria, they make something called fura, and I think fura de nunu. They have it for like breakfast. It's sweet, and I think it's kind of millet. I think it's millet based. But anyway, millet is a whole grain, It has more protein, more fiber. It's better for you than rice. I tried it recently, and I tried, and I'll show you actually. So here's the millet. I went to the farmer's market. Anyway, so I got it. You can see how much I've used. It was filled to the top. And what I did was I tried, because it was my first time trying this grain, I tried two different ways. I just cooked it, which really what they say is a half cup to 1.5 cup of liquid. I used broth, chicken broth, which was defatted. So I used that, and you're supposed to simmer. And it took, I will say, it did take hours. I think probably in the pressure cooker. Next time I try it, I'll try in the pressure cooker and see how that comes out. And it wasn't bad. It's kind of chewy, like brown rice, because it has a hull, but it's not bad. The other thing was to make this. This is like a flatbread. See, you know. Mm. Mm. It's good. It's actually pretty good. I'm not just. I'm not faking it for the camera. It's pretty good. Was rejected. My daughter probably ate about, you know, half of this and said that's enough. She's done. Um, Thanks for the experiment, Mom. Can I have some regular food now? But I am committed to introducing her to new foods as I'm introducing myself. But so this was like it's actually millet and oatmeal. I made it into a flatbread and ate it with like a curry, sort of sopping it up, kind of like the Ethiopians do with the injera. Now, it's not like injera, if you've ever had injera, which I understand is actually pretty good too. I've had injera, but I mean, what I mean by I understand it's pretty good is the nutritional value. I understand it's pretty good, but I don't know enough about it right this moment to tell you. But it's not as flexible as injera. And this is actually, I made this yesterday or 2 days ago, and I kept it in the fridge. And I don't think I kept it very well. I think I probably should have kept it in some sort of vacuum seal thing to keep its softness. So it's gotten slightly rigid, but it was softer when I did it. And what I did with that was I ground these up into a kind of flour. I was not very patient, so you can see that it's not as well ground as it could be. And put it in boiling water and let it sit for a while and cook for a bit, cook it through. And then I started stirring it, and probably a while, it was probably like 6 minutes, maybe 10. And then I started stirring it, and I ground up some straight oatmeal, put that in there as well, stirred it into kind of like a doughy form, flattened it with my hands, nothing dramatic, nothing fancy. And then I toasted it without oil in my nonstick pan, so that I got a little, you see, a little burn, a little char. And it was pretty tasty. It has a nutty flavor, it's pretty good. And I ate it with like I said, I had a little spinach curry flavor thing going on, and it was actually pretty good. So anyway, that's my substitution for the day. So I'm really not doing a whole lot of rice. I'm trying out new grains, and I love trying grains that I know they're indigenous to where I'm from, because there's a saying that we have in Nigeria that says, what you're looking for in Sokoto is in your Shokoto. So I find that we have spent our whole lives westernizing our diet, and it's not even good for us. When we have millet in the market, you can go and buy it. Anyway, I'm just suggesting that we try adding some sustainable food to our diet. This is like a whole eco thing going on in the US now, but it's what we've been doing for years. And all of a sudden we stop doing what works and start outsourcing our food. We import rice, buying apples. When I remember growing up in Nigeria, and there was some fruits. There was one fruit that I loved that was simply just called fruit. I have no idea. I have no idea what kind of fruit it is. It was delish. And I'm sure it had great like vitamin C's and antioxidants. But again, we're not eating our indigenous food. We're importing apples from South Africa or something crazy. The madness. Stop the madness. Eat what God has created in your own backyard. What you're looking for in Sokoto is in your Shokoto. Which means, I didn't tell you guys what that meant. What that means is, Sokoto is probably one of the furthest points from the main cities. So it's a city, but it's a state. But It's further away. So people will say what you're looking for in Sokoto, which means you're going very far away to look for it, is in your Shokoto. Shokoto means your trousers, your pants. It's right inside. Basically, you're wearing what you're looking for. It's right in your pocket. You know, this millet is pretty good. Anyway, so today we're not even talking about millet. I've just given a whole dissertation on millet, and that wasn't what I was talking about. But I was about to make something to eat for lunch, salad. Now in Nigeria we eat salad, but we call it salad, and it's not just the accent that makes it different. The accent is not the only thing. Salad is heavy. You know, when you go to a party, they'll say, "Oh, do you want salad?" And that salad, there's a little, iceberg lettuce, but there's also baked beans, there's corned beef, there's corn, all manner of things. It's one of those kind of salads they talk about at the restaurants here that are really not salads. There's some restaurants here that you can have salads. I was um, reading about one on Eat This Not That, and it was talking about, I'm not going to mention the restaurant's name because I don't know the legalities of all these things, but the chicken Caesar salad was, and one serving, what they serve you, was actually well over 1,000 calories, and I can't remember how many grams of fat. And I just said, this is crazy. You're trying to do good, right? Have a salad, and it turns out it's like loaded with fat. Anyway, so that's kind of like a salad. But what I love to eat during the summer now, especially as I'm changing my diet, and my dietary changes are getting rid of refined carbohydrates, putting more complex carbs, also protein. I don't do a hugely. I do a high protein, but not. I'm not doing an Atkins. Um, I try different sources of protein. I try to do less animal protein, so I still eat chicken, but I limit it. I still eat actually pretty much any kind of animal protein, but I try to limit it. I'm not, when I buy groceries, I don't buy a lot of that because animal proteins aren't that great for you. I do eat seafood, but then even that, I do like mostly salmon, which I'm going to use today, tilapia, different kinds of fish. Not a huge shellfish person. I do have mussels from time to time and shrimp and so on and so forth. But and then lots and lots of greens and veggies and fruit. I like to add a lot of that into my diet, and then fiber, which I'll talk about in another episode. But fiber, as one of our wellness consultants, one of the wellness coaches that spoke at Atlanta, she had said, fiber is a weapon of mass destruction. And I've been using that term, and I think about it all the time. I add fiber into a lot of different things I drink. I have a product, and I'll show you. It's this raw fiber. I got it from, I think, the vitamin store. It actually tastes pretty good. I actually drink it with water sometimes. Um, and it just really keeps you regular. And it says it's beyond organic fiber, and also it has flax seeds in them, so there's omega fatty acids, and there are also probiotics in it, so it helps keep you on track. So anyway, that's fiber, and it talks about the millet. Anyway, I'm hungry. That's why I'm snacking on the millet. So we're gonna make the salad.